Hello, welcome to your reading. So today we're going to do a reading from, well, this is going to be your choice. What I want you to do, this is going to be a little bit more participatory than just picking a pile. Of course, you trust your intuition as always, but what I really want is for you to think of a person, whether they've passed or they're here on Earth, whether they're an ex, whether they're a loved one, whether they're a parent, a child, whoever you really want to get like a message in regards to. This may be a message for you. I mean, you're getting the reading, so this will be a message for you. What you need to hear either about where they are or even a message that you need to get from them. Take what resonates as always. But this is for you to kind of like, excuse me, kind of like pause if you need time to think and just envision the person you have in mind, what they look like, maybe a time in the life where you were together or something like that. Whatever is the best way for you to envision this person, and that'll help guide you to whichever piles come through today. During the reading, I might also ask you to envision a question and we'll get like a message out as well. We'll see how this one flows. I've pulled a whole bunch of cards. There's a lot of cards coming through. So I'm guessing this is going to be a bit of a long one. However, if it's valuable, then it's time well spent, right? Anywho, let's get into the reading. So we'll pick some piles. Also, another side note, happy Mother's Day. If it's celebrated in your country around now, if you're watching this down the future, still happy Mother's Day to all the divine feminine energy out there, whether we're talking about goddess, or a mother, or just like a mother figure, or that feminine energy, regardless of what package it comes into, that good, nurturing, supportive energy. Okay. I actually thought this would be a reading around something to do with Divine Feminine or Mother's Day, but this is what came through, and I think it opens it up to be more broad. Okay. Like I said, past, present, future, this is your choice. This doesn't even have to be a person if you're like, don't really need to get a message from anyone. Maybe it's like a past pet or even a pet that you have in your house right now. Maybe it's just take this as like a nice message from them. All right, it's a bit dark here because I left it quite late to do this reading. So I slept in, or I needed a lot of sleep today. All right, so we've got pile 1, 2, 3. All right, let's take a look at pile 1. So if you're going to choose pile 1 today, you have Ascended Master Mary Magdalene and the Aqua or Quartz with Divine Alchemy. Here's your card. Also, the number is 333. For pile 2, you have the Goddess Sekhmet and the Fire Agate with Passion of the Lion Heart. Here is your card. The crystal number here is 888. And for pile number 3, you have the Goddess Freya and Amber, the Untamed, with crystal goddess number 888. Here's your card. All right, so these will be your 3 piles today. I'll let you tap into your intuition, see who you want a message about or from in your mind's eye. Remember, they can be anybody, any species, an animal, whatever really feels called to you. This is just a message about or from them, something you need to know, something that's available for you to know as well. This won't be going and crossing any borders into relationships or ex-partners or anything that's that's not for you, right? This will be, even if you are focused on that energy, this will bring a message that's available to you to hear, for you to hear, rather. All right, I'll leave you to it. Go down into the description to jump straight to your video if you've already chosen. Otherwise, I'll leave you to it, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, hello, welcome to your reading pile number 1. So you've chosen Ascended Master, Mary Magdalene, and the Aqua Aura Quartz with Divine Alchemy. Very, very vibrant color. Obviously, I like blue, being the Blue Light Oracle. This is a beautiful shade of it as well. It's just, it feels very healing, almost like, literally with the aquamarine, that water kind of feeling, that almost transparent kind of blue. So beautiful card coming through. Divine Alchemy does feel like that someone very close, right? Very connected, or even if they're not now, there was a strong bond. So it does feel like this learning from the past. Anywho, we'll grab some cards. Let's see what message comes through. But even the Aura Quartz, it was like this radiant energy. There was also one thing that popped up when this came out, because Mary Magdalene, in some kind of, traditions, gets kind of written out or off, and has very much come back into more of the light aspect of like who she was, more so than just like shunning or being left out of the whole story when it comes to Jesus's life, or Yeshua. So the reason why I bring that up is there could be like this era of feeling left out or left behind. It's like this union being separated. I feel like that would be at more of a personal level rather than at a soul level. At a soul level, there's still growth and learning through both lives. Whether they're incarnate or not, the soul doesn't break, right? It doesn't shatter or leave. It's just in a different form. It's best I can say it. Okay, let's grab some cards. When I was shuffling the cards before I start reading, there was a lot of, I think I might grab this one actually. There was a lot of songs coming on about the past, the ghosts, like history. So this, for you may be about that as well. You may be focusing on someone who has left this plane, or has, shed their body, so to speak, kind of like a chrysalis, and turns into a butterfly. If not, that's okay as well. This is just something that was popping up when I was just shuffling. I'll take these two. Okay, lots of different shaped cards here today, so we'll just get into it. Alright, so you've got Archangel Uriel coming through. I can't remember the message of this card. Uriel always kind of feels like very connected to the sun, connected to passion, drive, that kind of energy. And I feel like here, especially when he's holding this like book, I think he's dressed like almost Balinese. This reminds me of Indonesia, but like specifically Bali. This get up, this clothing. So that's very interesting. But the fire's in his hand. I feel like this is a reminder of who you are and your passion, your drive, that kind of energy. I want to just quickly read the book, so I'm just curious. Uriel is also seen as the sun, right? And you know, in different books of, especially of like Enoch, I think it is. Don't quote me, I can't remember all of it, but it's like introduced, I think, alchemy into humanity. So this is like you can still tap into their energy if you're wanting to stretch out, reach forward, strive towards goals, that kind of thing. So I just want to quickly grab, yeah, this is, and here it says salvation. It says here, let go of anger and unforgiveness, and let my flame of love illuminate your heart. I can help free you from pain, from emotional pain. If you do not know the right words to say, call upon me and I will speak through your heart. So a really nice message coming through from Uriel. Also, Bali, it just seems like a very pure kind of like almost like a spiritual cleansing place, depending on how you kind of view it and see it. Obviously, if you're going there on the holiday and you don't care about anything spiritual, like it's very fun for that too. Like there's lots of things there, but it does feel like a purging place. So that's kind of makes me feels like it makes sense with the salvation. Like this is a freeing aspect. I think if you're thinking about their soul and their past, this is like they're free. Like they're free of whatever they were holding on to or constraints. So now it's an opportunity for you to also do the same. Whether they're past or not, it's an opportunity to I wouldn't say sever the connection, because it feels like regardless, souls are always kind of like intertwined in some way, in like a big web. And it's just like, well, all these links are good, but this one here is about anger and hate and still wanting revenge or something like that, let's just say, or disappointment in some form, abandonment, whatever it is. It's like that needs to be not really severed, but just re-channeled into support, lessons learned, growth, whatever. So it doesn't really cut cords, right? It's more like a release, I guess, is the best way I can put it. Okay, so you've also got the abolitionist and the feather. This is justice, individuality, respect. There is this energy of being true to who you are with this peacock feather. Very unique, right? Peacocks are very, very unique compared to a lot of other birds. Let's just say there's lots of like, you know, pretty birds and that kind of thing. But if we know what a peacock is when we see it, if we see like certain other birds, might go, oh, okay, you know, that could be this or that. We know a peacock, know what a peacock looks like. And this is like, that's where the individuality is coming through, that uniqueness, that being true to who you are. This message is about, you know, you're not lesser when you're away from the person you're feeling connected to or thinking about. You are still you. You still have everything you need. You also still have them. They may not be able to be spoken to face to face or anything like that. However, this is like they're still available. And even if you're like, you've chosen this for your pet, something like that, that's with you now, you know, just because you can't speak, you know, the language, you can feel each other's connection, you know, that kind of thing. That's where this is coming through. It's bringing balance to and harmony to the connection. Grace and gratitude. This is so nice. Gratitude is a big one, I feel, in a lot of, no, not just spiritual, but even like religious or even just life, right? We kind of, if you, I mean, I don't think anyone here is going to be zero spiritual kind of like interest, but even if you were, it's easy to just get caught up in the day to day and the bogged down by, I need to do this, that, and the other. Coming back to like wholeness, even like, you know, blessing food or anything like that before you eat it is a way of gratitude for having what you have. You don't have to thank a specific deity or anything like that. It's just being grateful that you have this in your life in this moment. It's being grateful for the now, that kind of thing. And this connection is like, be happy that you've had this connection or that you still have this connection, and take that energy with you to forward for whatever you do with that. You know, whatever your heart is guiding you to, even if it doesn't feel like society or everyone else is like, that's not what you should do. This is your choice. This is your decision. This is about you going forward with like the hope and passion of almost like the magician, you know, that creative energy, that strong creative energy. Doing it in a way that's for the highest good and taking the high road, not being pulled down by others, being pulled down by the past kind of thoughts and feelings towards this person or even towards other people, you know, whoever. This grace is about not just letting people get away with what's happened. It's more not getting pulled down by what's happened, not getting pulled down by what other people think and say. This is about shining your light and just living you freely, I feel. I feel like they have also potentially been this person, right? And if they were this person who stood out, but who had like soft and hard kind of sides to them, this is all for you to learn from. Doesn't mean you have to emulate that exact energy. You have your own kind of goals, but there's lots of learning you can gain from even a connection that you've had with someone that was only a year long, relationship or friendship or something like that. There's always like learning, even if it's like a month, you know, it doesn't matter about time. It's about what you take from it. Nice. You've got take positive action. It's about, like, in my head anyway, what I'm feeling with this card, or all these cards really, is about doing what's right or what feels right to you, not what is quick and snippy and snarky or anything like that. This is about how, like, I'm in my tub, right? Or like, I guess, like, let's say it's a boat and it's like, I'm going to decide with whatever energies around me, positive, negative, I can always turn and change my sail to go in a direction that feels right to me. I don't have to engage with this. I don't have to do anything that I don't feel like I have to do. I have complete control over how I respond to literally everything. I'm not letting my ego take control and just go, I'm not going to just shy away if it's not necessary. I'm going to make a choice and decision when I need to, where I need to, because I trust myself and I trust that, you know, this person or this being, this energy is still around me, helping and supporting me in some way, still with you. That's divine alchemy. You can't just separate. It's kind of like making a cake, right? You can probably deconstruct it by like trying to get the flour out and the egg out if you really want to, but it's not possible, right? It's still going to be part of who you are, so you may as well work with whatever energy comes from that, positive or negative, and transmute it into truth and you know, love, really, however that works for you. Interesting. I love the relinquish control, because what I'm talking about, you have control, but when I said that, I said you have control over how you respond. You have no control however other people respond. You have no control over how other people interact with you, right? You can send out great energy and people can still be negative or anything like that towards you. That's not on you. That's not your responsibility. Other people aren't your responsibility. Can't control how they're going to be. Can't control how the weather's going to shift and change exactly. You can control how you respond to it. You can say the whole day's ruined and get upset about it, or you can go grab an umbrella and put it up and continue with your day. You know what I mean? You have full control. You also have zero control over certain aspects of life, how other people respond, the weather, etc., etc. But I like this. Don't try to control things that are uncontrollable or that are not in your sphere of control. Especially humans, other people in your life. Just trust in how you feel. You'll be able to respond. Like here, like I said, there was like, didn't feel like super cutting cords. There's not like you can cut cords from the past exactly. What's done is done, but you can definitely control how you respond or deal with that energy. You know, in time, it can take a lot of time sometimes, but I feel like this relinquished control just gives you back a lot of your freedom by not stressing and worrying about what's happening. You can't control how two countries are going to like go to war or not, right? That's going to be up to, unless you're a world leader watching this, you know, you have some influence, right? But you know, it's not, you don't have to put all your energy into this that's happening somewhere else in the world. You can obviously send love and support and whatever you can do, but that's the thing. Focus on what you can do, not what is happening. You can't control that. Okay. Excuse me. But yeah, abolitionists, I do like that. The abolitionists, they are kind of freedom fighters, right? Or doing what's right, looking around and seeing what's not right. What can you do about that? What can you change? If you feel like, oh, you can't change how another country is going to interact with another country, then you can't put all your energy into it, because it's kind of like fighting a losing battle, I guess, is the best way I can say it. Their energy is very strong, for sure. This person, they may be male or female, doesn't matter too much. I feel like if they've passed, they've come to some kind of like universal understanding, which I don't know if any human would really comprehend. Maybe some like higher kind of master guru that's around, but even then I feel like they will only have a snippet of the information, and that's fine, because we're just here to be human, really. But I do love the respect, grace, and gratitude. This is all about taking the high road. Okay, so I want to get a message for you from them. I feel like that is a good start with the tarot cards. So let's see what comes through. So this will be a message from whoever you've thought in your mind. So keep them in there. The song's interesting as well. It's called There You Are, and it's like, I can see you, there you are, there you are, there you are. This could be like, you know, seeing, like feeling that energy. It's very loud, actually. Sometimes this happens. I'll put on the music in the background, which you can't hear during the recording, and I'll be like, okay, cool, this is good. And then a certain song will be really loud and I'll pay attention to it, and then it will feel like it goes down or goes quieter. It's really interesting. Anyway, so we'll have a look at these cards. So there's a lot coming through, actually. You've got the Ace of Pentacles. I love that for you. The 10 of Wands. Yeah, I think this is taking inventory of what you're carrying and what this connection really meant to you. It's not about just getting over it. It's not about just releasing it. It's not about just like only focusing on it, right? It's just about being truly how you feel about this connection, past or present. Because you don't, especially if we're talking about the control, you don't want to hold on to so much and be like, no, I'm not letting this go, because then I give them approval of what they've done, or I give them, it's like saying, if you release control, it's like saying, well, then if I let go of it, then I didn't care about them. It's obviously not true, right? It doesn't matter what anyone else says. This is about how you feel. So know that, you know, there's a new beginning or a new start available with letting go of the past. Focusing on you has been a big thing here. I like this for you. Be true to who you are. See the beautiful, loving, supportive, healthy, happy person that you are. If you feel like you've been leaning into ego and, you know, it hasn't been great, that's just part of learning. Don't I know I keep saying don't, but like, be kind to yourself. Be softer on yourself as well. Stop putting so much harsh pressure on yourself. You don't have to be anybody's anything. Just have to be you. That's it. Okay. You've got the Five of Cups. Yes, like I said down here, be mindful of where you're putting your energy. Are you having great energy and you're pouring all this energy into like focusing on, I don't know, I'm just going to use the example of like the weather or like the connection. Did they care about me? Did I care about them? Am I doing enough? That kind of thing. It's a whole lot of energy being kind of poured down the drain, right? This is also a card of grief, of sadness. Now, grief is, you know, processing grief takes time. Go through many different stages of feelings and emotions. You go backwards and forwards in them, and that's okay. It's better to acknowledge that I haven't let go of this or I haven't released this than to be like, I'm fine if it's been locked away, because there's still energy. You'll know in your heart whether you need to process anything. And process is just like feeling. That's all I see it as. It's like, it's just being honest with myself, acknowledging it and feeling what I need to feel from it, and then release if I need to, or, you know, transmute the energy into a positive action, whatever that is for you. And again, when I say a positive action, what's a positive action for you? A positive action for someone else might be different to you. You might think that's good for them, but it's not for me. Perfect. What's for you? You've also got the Ace of Cups. I feel like this path helps you open up your heart. By acknowledging your emotions, you actually open your heart space up to feeling again. And that can be scary for a lot of people, especially if they've lost a loved one. It's hard to open up because there's fear of losing someone again, right? We can't live like that in this life. We have to live truthfully and freely. And that's easier said than done, but that's the truth of it all. Comes back to being free with who you are. You know, getting those goals reached, and also finding that loving connection, or embracing the love and connections that you have around you now, without getting into anything dramatic or buying into any drama. Yeah, okay, cool. And we're finishing up with the Nine of Pentacles. This is like, you're worth it, right? The Nine of Pentacles. She doesn't get here by being given everything that she's got. She's learned. That's why there's an owl there in my mind anyway. She's learned from her struggles, from her disappointments, from her challenges. She's struggled, and she's like overcome many different things, putting in the effort, because it's the 8 before this, and that's like a lot of work, right? It's effort, it's mastery, it's skill, it's honing your mind and body and existence even to create. You can still have this, you can still reap your rewards. Make sure that any challenges that have transgressed, you learn from, you find the silver linings, and you connect with in a positive manner that's healthy for you. If you need breaks, take breaks. You know, you don't have to soldier on like a zombie or anything like that. You don't have to live like in a unfeeling world, because it starts with you. Try to remove focus off the rest of the world and what they're doing. Focus on your own good source energy, so you don't waste it. You know, empower yourself, see yourself as perfect. I guess it's really coming through as, it's like, that's how they want to come through, is like, as you're perfect just the way you are, kind of thing. Okay, I want to grab another card. Just want to finish up with a Starlight card for you, pile number 1. No, we didn't really go into too many questions, but I feel like there's enough information here to really help. And connecting with the energy is just very, very nice. The energy of this reading. Yeah, they keep highlighting respect. Make sure you respect yourself. Let yourself be respected. All that kind of thing. Learn from lessons, from the good, from the challenging, from all of it. See the silver linings, see the blessings. Transmute the energy of like anger into love, that kind of thing, into something that's going to be actually supportive and helpful to who you are and the people around you. All right, last little message. You've got the morning star. It says, keep shining even when others have quit. Yeah, you're responsible for your behavior and what you do. So make sure that you can feel honored or feel like you're honoring yourself and even honoring the connection you had in the past with this person. You know, regardless of what other people are doing, you're still worth it. You know, the shining, still worth that energy. Don't have to be tied down to something that's not any of your responsibility or business even. It's like I think RuPaul said, you know, what other people are saying about me is none of my business. And that's true, isn't it? Like what people think about me is not my business. I don't need to go into it and try to convince them or change their mind or anything like that. I was reading up about someone else that I follow, and like there was all these articles about, you know, them being like a fraud or like dangerous or stealing, like trying to take money or anything like that. And all the information that I've got from this person hasn't costed anything. It's just, I guess, time, right, when I'm watching it. However, it's just like lessons learned and like information. There's no like you have to cross this wall, you have to pay this or anything like that, or to get here, you know, like how some places are. To get into heaven, you have to pay $10 or a week or like 10% of your you have to tithe pretty much. You have to tithe 10% of your wage to get into this place. It's none of that. It's interesting how people think and make a big song and dance over it, but really it comes back to just because they have just made their decisions in their life doesn't mean you have to buy into that, interact with it, or even engage in any kind of behavior like that. You're here for not just you, of course, but like you are important in this whole system as well. So be mindful of what you feel and do and say to yourself and to others. Okay, I think that's it. I feel like this is a really touching, nice message from this person. Super supportive, super real too. There's like this balance of realism with love and support. And I feel like if they are on the other side, this is just for some people that have chosen this for like a past loved one, I feel like they see things so much more clearer now. They might have been kind of bogged down into the earthliness of it. And then once they kind of like not separate, but expand in a bigger form, they can just see more of how things are interconnected. So that's why the energy may have shifted since their passing. However, still supportive, lovely, and very connected. There's like no removing this person from your sphere of influence, whether or not you still interact on an earthly level. Higher levels, definitely still connected. Okay, that is your reading, pile number 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, hello, welcome to your reading, pile number 2. So you've chosen Goddess Sekhmet and the Fire Gate with Passion of the Lionheart. What an interesting card to come through. Obviously very fiery. Sekhmet is like the warrior goddess, right? So kind of giving me, you know how there's Aries and, no, what is it? Is it Aries and Eris? Like there's those two that are kind of remind me of like brother and sister, but they're both of like war. So that's kind of just an interesting message coming through, or energy coming through. But we'll have a look at the cards. So I'm just going to shuffle some of these for you today. Hopefully you can see them. Let's move this. Actually, we'll do it this way. The Passion of the Lionheart. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right. This one flew out, so I'll grab it. I think they wanted a card and then this one just decided to fly out, so we'll see how this resonates with your reading. Okay. And this one's flicking out as well. Sokid Hozi. So I guess we'll start with this card here. Interesting, angelic. It seems more, I feel like, just from memory, especially with the name, I feel like it comes from more Islamic type belief system, Saqid. But here, regardless of where it's come from, the message on the card is this duality, right? This brother and sister type thing, what I was talking about here, which was reminding me of, even though Sekhmet doesn't necessarily have anything to do with that, but just like the energy of this twin, kind of like two sides to one coin type energy with Saqid. I feel like Saqid talks about balance. I mean, I could be pronouncing this wrong. Sokid? Hozi? I'm not sure. I'm just going by what sounds to me, right? Yeah, it talks about balance. Let me read a little bit about the Archangel. So the Archangel known as the Keeper of the Divine Balances. Saqid is an angel associated with intimate partnerships and is shown here as half man, half woman, Russian circus performer. So they maintain our individuality while acknowledging interconnectedness of all things. What an interesting person you've connected with for whatever this is about. This could be someone very close, right? Like almost like brother-sister type energy, or even, you know, sister, brother, whatever. But someone very close spiritually, especially. They were probably still close on Earth. I have no idea if they've passed or not, but this is someone that's like, there was something there. There was definitely some kind of like unspoken connection. So I'm going to read the quick message here. It just says, human beings have an innate need to interact with others. I will help bring balance to your love life and relationships, and above all, have a good relationship with yourself. Okay, I do like that. You've got Wings of Light. This is also very angelic, the Wings of Light. It's an interesting card because we might think, oh, that's a nice, pretty, and easy card. But this is really touching on choosing and taking responsibility for your choices, I feel, with this card. It is very soft and loving and supportive, but it's also about responsibility. There's some kind of responsibility energy here. You also have the Kitsune with the Enzo. It's got insightful, playful, and cunning. Definitely touching on the lighter aspects of your connection with this person. Definitely touching on that. I don't know what it's really culminating to as a message. I feel like I'm going to have to get that from the tarot, which I'll pull a little bit later. But there's just a lot of like high vibe energy coming through. And, you know, this is like a lot of based really in Japanese. And Japanese has very like, I wouldn't say rigid, right? But very structured kind of like culture. Almost still very similar to how they were in the past, like very isolated. Still kind of like, if you're from Japan or anything like that, I feel like this was just a stat that got thrown at me online, so who knows what's true. But like almost like, I think it's about 80% of the people that were born or live in Japan, I would say born, because I'm sure there's lots of foreigners, but born in Japan do not have a passport, right? So they're very like, they know what they kind of like know, I guess. Obviously now these days it's a bit different. You can look online, you can get a lot of vibe, but you really don't really get a vibe until you go somewhere. You can assume a lot of stuff, but you don't really feel it until you're in amongst it, and in amongst that energy. So there's kind of like that energy coming through, but also with a whole lot of like hidden energy. So it could be something that needs to come out from within, a part of you that hasn't been seen that needs to come out. And it's not for anybody else, this is for you. Okay. So you've got break addictions. This could be like a cycle of an addiction. I mean, a clear addiction would be like relying on substances, right? But this also feels like with breaking addictions, like it's not like breaking the connection, but it's the idea of the connection. It's like what you think you're supposed to be or do. Just be or do who you are. That's really all it is. Instead of trying to find this grand idea of who I should be or anything like that. This is just like living. Just live. Just express yourself and live. When I was talking about the Japanese thing here, it could be also getting out of rigidity and confinement and restrictions and feeling like you have to be in a particular way. You might have actually connected this with, instead of like a person, like a past person or a living person or a pet, this could be like your higher self, or like your connection with your higher self, or maybe your higher self's counterpart, or a guide or something like that, because that kind of feels true as well. They're here supporting you for sure with seeing the blessings of what is, instead of cracking the egg open and expecting like a I don't know, a lizard, and you keep getting gooses. But the geese are not bad, right? That's like it's great to still have all these, like, literally a whole bunch of gifts in your life, a whole lot of like energy to be able to transmute and change into something that you want to see in your life, or for the people around you. Oh, I like this. It's a yes. Yeah, take off the mask, let go of the idea of like, well, I'm this certain person or this kind of being, so I have to act or be in this way. Take off the assumption that you have to be anything other than yourself. That's really the message here that I keep constantly getting. And I know I'm harping on and poke about it, but it's just like how it's coming through. Go forward with who you truly are. Take off the mask. Like, here she's taking... The mask isn't being taken off, she's just living truthfully, and the mask falls off. And that's okay. It's better than falling off when it gets like kind of like pointed out to you, or like in a harsh way. This is about you, your choice, your decision, a leap of faith, all of that. Get out of cycles, get out of structure that doesn't work for you. Stop assuming you have to be in some kind of structure because you're this like holier than thou being. You know what I mean? Anything like that. It's coming through kind of strong, but like let's just stick with that. You're you, and that's enough. That's it. You don't have to try to do more or less. All right, so what I'm just going to get you to feel is a message from this guide, because I feel like this is a whole lot of stuff coming through, and I just want like a clean message. Like, what's the most important message that you could say to the querent who's picked this pile, please? Okay, I'm gonna take that one. No. Yeah. Okay, so let's get a message for you. The most important message that they kind of want to bring through today in this reading. I think they're talking about a lot here. They just kind of want you to live freely and be yourself and, enjoy life, essentially. Not feel like you have to be something or hide aspects of yourself. You're definitely not supposed to hide aspects of yourself. You're supposed to be free as a human, not as this like holy creature or something like that. You are that, of course, but that doesn't mean that's supposed to restrict you. It's kind of like when you read star signs, like, oh, well, I'm this, so therefore I can't have a relationship with this or these type of things. I have to go with what my chart says. And even like 99% of the astrologers that I've kind of like listened to online, they're like, the charts aren't supposed to restrict you. They're supposed to give you information and freedom and help you expand. That's it. They're not supposed to be like, oh, that means I have to live like this, or oh, I can't be like that, or yeah, this person's always like that. And generally, it's people just focusing on the sun sign, right? And it's like so limiting, just focusing on one aspect. No one's just one thing. There's not 12 type of people in the world. You know, it's anyway. Let's have a look. Giving back your freedom of awe and wonder and curiosity. I feel like this is good. Kind of giving you back this this playful nature, or this childlike nature. Got the Page of Cups. You also have the Seven of Cups. You have a lot of freedom actually to make choices and decisions. This whole idea of being restricted is kind of like a it's almost like a cycle or addiction. It's like, well, if I feel like I'm restricted and then I can't get what I want, therefore that's why I'm not getting it, because I have to keep restricting myself. And it's like, sure, if you believe that, then it's going to be true, but it's not true. Yeah, walk away from this this feeling. I feel it's not walking away from the connection or anything like that. It's walking away from this old attachment or old way of being. The Eight of Cups has like an interesting touch, right? It's you know, on one hand, it can be the person who is leaving home for the first time. There's emotional attachments, of course, to your family and stuff, because they're not going to be there every day. Whether that's a blessing or not, you know, sometimes it can be like, woohoo, I'm out of here. And for some, it's like, woohoo, I'm out of here, but I still have like, you know, a lot of feelings and stuff, but it's like going off to a new adventure. And so I think this lets go of a lot of this having to be, or having to tell an old story, or trying to play out something. You're not a ghost, right? You don't have to play out, you don't have to be stuck in a cycle of repetition like an old echo. You're fully human and able to do that which you want to do. So there's a lot of cups coming through, a lot of like decisions, a lot of like feelings, getting back to curiosity and freedom, I feel. All right, you have the Emperor. I like that. Getting out of the water and into the fire. Yeah, more fire. Being who you are. And then we're finishing off with the Page of Pentacles. Lessons learnt and no longer stuck in a loop, right? You can see the loop. The loop is outside of yourself with this card coming through. But the Emperor and the Six of Wands coming through really just feels like standing strong with who you are, having resolve with who you are, not letting anger or old stories kind of keep you stuck, because you're going to resonate, you're going to radiate that outwards towards other people, and then other people have to deal with that energy, and you don't want that, and it doesn't feel true to who you are anyway. It doesn't feel correct or right. This is all about utilizing whatever you're feeling into and channeling it into something expressive and great. This person has a lot of respect, I feel, for you as well. Huge amount of respect, huge amount of stability. This could even be their energy anchoring in and being like, now you know the lessons or the learnings from our interactions, and so do I. I've learned so much as well. He's hugging or like sitting next to Mars. Like I said at the beginning, this Aries and not Aries, no, what is it? I can't remember. Is it like Mars and something? I can't remember. There's like this brother and like goddess brother and sister that are like both very much like fiery energy. And in the feminine sense, you know, the masculine usually talks to like war, passion, that kind of thing. Whether that's positive or negative, it's just like that kind of like active energy. And then there's a story popping up where it's like this goddess comes down. She wasn't invited to the party. She turns up anyway. She comes down. She has like a bracelet or a ring or something. She throws it into the crowd with all the other goddesses. And it's like, she's like, for the fairest. And she keeps walking, but she's like, you know, it can cause kind of chaos as well. Because she's like, well, if you're not going to invite me, I'm going to turn up anyway, and then I'm going to cause some chaos. So it's like, you know, obviously the goddesses think they want that thing because it's like, they're the fairest, right? Type thing, when she doesn't really care. You know, she's kind of causing some kind of disturbance. So there's like that energy with also like that inner fire and passion. And I feel like instead of radiating that energy out and causing kind of like or being around any kind of chaotic energy, it's like, let's focus it inwards and then express it outwards by transmuting it into passion, into excitement, into living, reclaiming your life back, essentially. Okay, that's probably enough of that. Hopefully this has helped. I'm just going to grab one more little Starlight card for you. I do like the Wings of Light. I am going to quickly read that before I send you off on your merry way. Wings of Light, and we get the light card. It says, without dark, would never see the stars. And sometimes they talk about that as like, if we didn't have darkness, we wouldn't have light, that kind of thing, or you wouldn't notice it. And, you know, regardless of how you want to kind of like put that, take this as like, there is darkness and light out there, but what do you want to focus on? What do you want to send out? That's what's more important with this reading. And whatever you're feeling, it's a yes. So that feels like motivation to go forward. All right, last little bit, Wings of Light, and then you can head out. This is positive news. It says here, a positive result or a joyful message arrives and brightens your day. Once you receive it, you will want to pause for a moment to reflect on the people and the things that matter to you most. Thank the universe for the gifts of love, friendship, family, community, country, world, universe. Is it not all important? Is it not all a blessing? So it's like being grateful and having high gratitude for everything that's around. But also I feel like to finally close up, that, you know, this person has that same energy towards you. They're grateful for you. You're grateful for them in some way. There's always lessons and learning and happiness and ups and downs and all sorts with certain people. So this feels really lovely. Okay, I'm going to leave their love with you as well. Thank you very much for letting me read for you. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, welcome to your reading pile number 3. So, your message from whoever you've had in mind, right? A message for you, maybe about them, that kind of energy. You've got Goddess Freya with Amber, the Untamed. Interesting. Amber to me always feels like home or like the bloodline, which is interesting saying bloodline. And obviously Goddess Freya, well, not obviously if you don't know, Goddess Freya is the counterpart or wife of Odin. And the Untamed, so it's like, you know, the Untamed's kind of like, you know, untamed this or untamed that. It's like a jungle. It's just pretty much means that humans haven't, like if we're talking about a place, humans haven't mowed it all down and turned it into a McDonald's or something like that. That's untamed. But untamed, like person or like a stallion, right, is like that still wildness is still in them, that freedom is still in them. They haven't conformed. So I feel like if you've chosen because you're talking about someone who couldn't be kind of like tamed, maybe they weren't supposed to be. But let's have a look at whatever cards come through for this message. I do like this. Amber really isn't necessarily bloodline, but it just, you know, amber fossilizes certain creatures as well when it pours on them from the tree sap. It's not a crystal exactly, it is sap from a tree. So let's see. Trying to decipher whether they're the free spirit and they want you to have that energy, or you're this free spirit and they're letting you know you're meant to be kind of like a little bit wild, right? Sometimes a little bit of wildness breaks up the monotony of life or of people being the same thing. So I think I said in the last pile, if you also thought of like a spirit guide or a spirit or goddess god or whoever, take that as true as well, that this is a message around them or something you need to know. I'll take these two. Okay, let's start. So you've got Miracle Worker and Grimoire. This is talking about astral travel, costs, and secrets. Interesting card coming through. She's kind of like my idea of when I created this card was she's trying to help people, right? Her whole, like, if you come back to like the root cause of what she's doing, she's really just trying to save, cure, help people, whatever she can do. And you can see here she's kind of going into the shadows almost to feel that or to try to find some kind of way. But also there's an era of adventure in her mind. Even astral travel kind of speaks to traveling in different dimension or different realms, that kind of energy. There is definitely like this, like, don't be afraid of your own creative ability as well with this energy. Secrets, like, you know, let some of that come through and show itself. Doesn't mean you have to go to tell people this is my secret, this is my secret. It's none of that. It's just like let that secret spice that makes you come through. Because this is kind of untamed, right? It's not really untamed. It's kind of like reaching out between the lines or over the lines. If she was like in a coven or something, like, let's just say in, like, you know, a TV show or something with like a whole bunch of witches, she would be the one that kind of delves deep into some of the so-called forbidden stuff just to test it out, just to see what it's about. Sometimes that's okay. Maybe 1,000 years ago it wasn't. Now, if we look at it, maybe there is something to be gained from here with further study. It's an interesting message. I don't know who they were, but they're an interesting one for sure. Right, Michael's coming through. Okay, Michael is all about protection. There's like no fear with this. Whoever you're working with or whatever this is all about, this connection, there's like pure support. If you want to kind of like express some of your untamed side, wild side, this card is really coming through with, like, you know, you are protected and supported with this. They're almost like a teacher of some sort. It's kind of like, you know, even if this was like a living person, it's kind of like the bad boy, or it's someone who's kind of like not a bad boy exactly, but like somehow gets into situations that are like, how did this happen? Or like, that's not normal, right? And that's okay because they're not here to be normal. They're meant to like lead the way. Like Michael's like the leader and it's like leading the way. And sometimes leadership can be really restricting, but sometimes leadership is just like the person who decides to, you know, stand out and do something different. They're not leading people exactly, but they kind of are being looked at, whether it's like in a negative way or positive way. It's like, well, how come you're okay with drawing outside of the lines? And it's like, because who said the lines were there to stop us anyway? Know what I mean? Lightship Earth, yeah, taking charge, leadership. There is this like idea of you pushing forward. If this is them, then this is them, but I feel like the same kind of message comes from how they live to how you live. Now, you don't have to emulate what they did, but you're here to emulate what's true to you outwardly. Interesting reading. You've got to assimilate life experiences. Yes, there's lessons and learning from your interaction with them, your connection with them, whether they're still here or not. There's still like this kind of like, it's kind of wacky, right? Odd situations, weird things popping up, but a very close, like a soul connection or something like that. It's really funny the way it comes through. Yeah, you got relinquish control. I like this. Again, this feels very similar to pile 1 and this just one message. And if you were drawn to one, maybe go have a look at that one too. But relinquish control, when she's got the scissors down here and hold it and she knows she needs to cut it, it's just to let this angel kind of foot, I guess, person be free, or be free, because can't control everything. You can control how you respond to life and how you interact with people from your perspective, But if someone's horrible, right, sometimes we say, well, I had no choice but to be horrible back to them. It's like, well, you actually did have a choice. You didn't have to engage with how they were. Just because you think in your head they deserve it, it's like lowering yourself. Do you deserve it though? Do you deserve to lower yourself to that level? Do you deserve to live in a restricted kind of like mentality mind if it doesn't feel right to you? Some people are, and that's absolutely fine too. They're meant to, you know, come down, follow this particular religion, marry this person, have this many children, do this job, done. Like, you know what I mean? And that's okay. That's it. But this is not you, and this is not this person. And no. This is for you to relinquish it. The control aspect is to need to know what's going to happen, or need to be right, or need for the person to act in this kind of way, like a different person or family member or whatever. This is like, stop trying to control the narrative and just go deep, go within, go forward with this like growth and learning you've learned in life. I want to read this book, this one. What is this number? So I'll push it up. Michael can just go up a bit. 40, Lightship Earth. Lightship Earth is an interesting one. I don't know what it means. Okay, this is talking about personal and planetary healing. It says the Earth is a living consciousness currently being flooded with high vibrational energy. These very same energies are flowing through you. In being aware of this, you will be better able to integrate these new energies. Keep an open heart and mind, and you will see the time as a joyful one. Do not allow yourself to be drawn into fear that exists. Yeah, that's what this is. Don't let yourself be pulled down into... If you want other people to accept who you are or how you are, that's going to take time, and also just live your life freely. If you keep focusing on like, I want you to accept who I am now, wow, that's admirable, right? And good if they did, but you can't control how someone's going to accept who you are. So you have to just live your life freely without worry or focus on it. And know that in your heart that they will come around, even if that has to be after they pass. They will come around because they'll see things in a brighter, bigger perspective, and they will come to you. You can only do what you can do. It kind of reminds me of actually a really sad story, which I'll share it. But it's like this gay couple, were together for a really long time. One of them had an accident, was going to pass. They were both in the hospital together, and this one decided to contact the parents because the parents of this one hadn't connected for 20 years and just kind of disowned, right? But he thought, well, they need to know, and they need to like have the ability to say goodbye. Parents come, kick this person out because they weren't married, because this was like back in the day, and he never got to say like his last goodbye. It was stressful, that kind of thing. I don't know if he even got to go to the funeral, that kind of thing. It's like, it's quite harsh, right? And so what do we learn from that? Is it worth not telling them? He shouldn't have to change who he is. He did what he thought was the right thing to let his family know, or like, you know, the person who's passing know, out of respect. So he didn't lessen himself. They decided to do what they did. And like, that's a really hard story to like just accept in that sense. But what happened is that happened, and people chose what they chose. And so for you to grow from it, it's like, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, right? This guy should have just not said anything. But he thought he felt that this was the right course of action. And I agree. I feel like it is the right course of action. It wasn't out of fear. It was out of like honesty, positivity, and truth. And just because the end result didn't end up in a way that's positive or helpful or even like respectable, right? It's still what happened. And so you can, like, when you review it back in a past life type thing, not past life, like a end of life review, did you do the right thing? You could probably still feel like you did what you felt was right in that moment. And that's what everyone can only do, is what they felt was right in every moment. So I think you're here probably as some Sarsi to do some light work as well. This could be another kind of wild energy of like a, if this is a past person, they could have been like the same, I don't know, starseed is you or something like that. That's kind of the energy that's coming through anyway. Okay, let's get a message from them, what they want to tell you. Because there's a lot here. There's a lot here. Even assimilating life experience could talk about past life, that kind of thing. I feel like all they're really saying is don't let anyone stop you from being you. Only you can stop you from being you. And why would you do that? That's it. All right, what do you want to tell the listener? So is this for you, pile 3? All right, let's take a look at what they want to tell you. You've got the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, I want to see what's next to this one. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure this was like actually collaboration, cooperation, working with others, connecting while also being true to you, right? This isn't about you going off and being the hermit that lives up in the forest. This has collaboration, cooperation, and celebration and guidance, right? They're following Sirius, like the North Star, I guess it is, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. So they're heading towards where they need to be, following that path that they don't know exactly where it's going to be. They have no control over what's going to happen or how people are going to interact, right? With that story with the couple, they can only interact, like kind of respond with whatever comes up, and regardless of how other people decide to live their lives and make their choices, you got to go with what's true and right for you. Whatever you choose, you have to be happy with how you interact and respond. So lots of decisions coming through. Decision time. Take your time with this. The 7 of Cups can be, what do you call it? I keep thinking constipation. It's not the right word. Procrastination. All right. Procrastination and not making a decision, but this is like, okay, I know what's right and where I need to put things. Because here it's kind of like, if I keep thinking about it, the water's going to come in and wash it away before I've even finished the sandcastle or whatever he's building. Kind of reminds me of that. It's probably not, but you know, he's contemplating and thinking about it. So give yourself some time. But if you've had lots of time and you know what to do, go forward with that. Tap into your true self as well. This feels like your psychic energy, your abilities, but also it kind of touches into, again, more secrets. Like there's a lot of like depth in here, right? Maybe you go into your Akashic records or something like that. I'm not sure. You're a funny one. But they're kind of like, you know, go in there, go do this weird stuff or try new things. Just because a whole bunch of people have already been doing it for like 10 years and you're like, oh, maybe I'm behind. They're not you, right? You have your own kind of like superpower abilities within that might work with different energy in a different way. Kind of go to those classes, go interact with those people, get out there and go do it. Trust what will come. Trust in your ability to create as well and birth new worlds. This is talking about like healing the world, channeling energy in. You know, you're part of that as well, part of this growth. How do you do it? Doesn't mean you have to go live any type of life, any type of way. Go with where you feel called to. If you do something for a week and then feel like it's not for you, change. Do it and then, you know, change it. It doesn't mean like go keep swapping and changing. Like let it sink in, of course. But if it doesn't feel right, give it a like, you know, a week or something. See how it progresses, and if it still doesn't feel right, then feel free to change. But this is definitely about trusting intuition, tapping into your inner kind of goddess, I guess, energy, or you know, regardless. And again, this is like taking a step into the light. I feel like the person you're connecting with is like, just be the magical you. We'll always have this connection. You don't leave it, but there is parts of it that are finished and need to be disconnected from, because you have a whole life to live. You know, there was this person who I was watching, and she was talking, and she wrote her first book at 90. You know, that's, I don't even know if I want to live that long, but you know what I mean? Like, that's a long time to write your first book, but that wasn't impossible. She did it because she felt called to, and she felt drawn to it at that time. So just because some people start when they're like 18 of doing a certain thing, and you might be still wandering around, wondering what's right for you at like 30, 40, that's okay as well. There's no, you're not comparing anyone's path to anyone else. You're here for your own individual kind of journey, but your one does interact with people that you love, or people that do things that you're drawn to. So interesting reading. This guide, or this person, is definitely like a guide now. They're there protecting you and guiding you through life as well. They can see the ultimate possibilities of what you can do, and see full potential and progressing with the life that you want to live. Okay, so to finish up, I'll grab one little card here, and then I'll let you go. You know, Michael also cuts cords to releases energy. Okay. Yeah. So it says here, radiate, let your light shine through. That's it. Just be you. Don't try to control things that don't matter, or that you have no authority over, right? You don't have authority over someone else. Can't help the people that don't want to be helped, so don't try to force anything. But you can definitely support yourself and let yourself live a a complete life in this lifetime. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Hopefully this has helped. I'll leave your love with this person, being, whoever they may be. And I just want to thank you for letting me read for you today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.